clear tu te chibai ule Mingo hnuhnung Mizo rama chanchin tha alo thlen dan documentary film buat sai ani dan chanchin kan clear ho don ani a Bihchianna te po kan ti thayang chu kum sang ni le som le pakua BCM assembly chuan Mizo rama chanchin tha alo lu dan documentary buat sai ni se ti na rela chu athurel zui tur chuan communication department committee kuta ada communication department committee chuan ngun takin angai tua a zui le chong tu tur subcommittee aruata chu subcommittee chuan sang ni le som le pakua chawa tangkhan han zui dona amai ro chu vandu thak takin covid-19 ripui in min han tlak buak tak awangin zui lei thai lovin tiang khanin kan bo ruak ani chauta covid-19 ripui a han kianga tiang chuan ruam man na te nei chau zel ani a buat sei na ko nga hianin BCM in kan man ro nei dan te kan khol nei dan te mi hring kan nei dan te han enin hetiang lampang timi farm nen in remsiam na neya kalpui ni se ti in committee chuan in a rel M space production te hi kan thopuya ta kan thlang ta anni nen hianin in remsiam na thuthlung te po nein kan thok khota ani tian subcommittee in zui zela ngun takin angai tu a film shooting zong boy pui tu tur remsiam pui kan han nei nuwa khan subcommittee chuan mo puna sang te han sim a boy pui tu berle angai tu tur director atan audio visual production manager sil machuana aruat ten a script ziak tu turatan pusil lenkima senior production assistant aruat bok tiang chuan ma lak chau han nia committee in subcommittee in a script ziak dan tur ruam man na te a documentary film kalphung tur te han duanga han thlir khowa pom ani nuwa script ziak tu turata na thlan pusil lenkima kuta da anita ani hena han ziaka script buat se pe felvek ani nu hianen a chandan phung tur ang kha engtin nge nen kan han tile subcommittee member te jinga hetiang lampang timin lo omle hlawa pu HP rem tluanga chu screenplay boy pi tur ti lo ni le ta ten a script ringot kha tok zo lo subtitle hi buat sai ni sela sap tong en thei tur in tiang chuanin Mizo tonga an tonga piang in English subtitle da ni sela sap tonga tong awam khan Mizo tongin subtitle da ve thung ni sela chumi lo boy pi tu tur a script le link tu tur atan chuanin subcommittee member jinga mi bok upa dr lal chan hima fan chu na han ro le ta ani in chupo chu han boy pi ve le ta ni tian chuan ruam man na angin kal so zela sap upa le pu buanga changtu tur hi kan buai re ang reng khop maya van nei thak takin England Mizo kan mi le sa te ti ve to mayang e chan maria kan thewa sap upa le pu buanga chanchin han soi hi chuanin kan ko thran member te jinga kan mai thei haulo pu buanga thlan zu jong chuak tu zu mu chuak tu upa kelal sanga te mak pa pu lerin oma hi UK om hlawa ani kaltlang hianin sap upa le pu buanga achang tu tur hi ani min lo ngai tu sak le vet ta tiang chonin sum le pai lo anga in chhor donin kan budget ten atlin chi a box si lo tiang chon ni hi lo em po om lovin chu ti mi chu meron ngai tu sak le ta tiang chon kan han ruam man kan nei chho zela audition Mizo achang tu tur heng tin nge nian kan tia share ko na le aizola audition kan buat saya chung audition kaltlang chuan achang tu te kan han thlang fel le ta anni tenen film chandan tur phungte in ko mu na te kan nei hnu in February ni som le pali san ni le som ni le pathum ma khan AICA sa he documentary film channa atho khatna le pathian ne na hlanna hi nei ani Reverend Aral Nunzira AGS service hawin he chan hon na hi nei ani ta chuta tang chuanin a film hi chan chho zar ania Mizoram chung mun sang te pu buang le sap upa ten sul nu an lo nei na mar lampang kot chua an ron lu na te chim lampang an ron lu na te mun sang te tin Mizoram po na silchar le che vela nu ma an lo nei na te tin Mizoram an nuwa an han le leilok Arunachal abor ro ho jinga an rong bol na mun te kan han kala tian chon sa upa le pu buang ate sul nu athe angin an nei na muna khanin heng film changtu te henin han changkwal ani film kalphunga hi hey zirlai and oma research beitu te an nia chung research te tu te chuanin sap upa le pu buang ate Mizoram an ron lu dana kha an zirna peng pakhat research an beina angin he documentary film hi kalpui ani Mizoram pon Mizo changtu te zong in an han chan zo fel vek to nuwa kan han chol det December sa ni le som ni le pathum ni som ni le pasaria sap achangtu tu te hi aizol an ron thleng tiang chon an ni te nen henen kan han chang vele ta chara January ni som le pani jingka ra khanin kan zo fel thei ani tiang chon in achan hun chung a po he du rei khop maya achan hun chung pialama abuat sai hun chung le ruam man na han siam COVID-19 te min lo tak bok nen chu tiang chon he documentary he a shooting rim chu sa ni le som ni le pali January tha kan han zo fela achul mam na editing le a sound lampang te audio music khang zong zong kha kan han boy pui chole ta chara tuna hianin chu pe fel ani chho tep to a mor bok ra tur achul mam na tuna hianin kalpui me kania pathianin rem ati chuan mei me thatop nge zun thalampang thatir lampang ate hi chuanin he documentary film hi release thei kan be sei ani ole ama saberatan a he film chungchanga kan han thlir ho tur hi pusi la lengkima a script ziak tu in engangin nge he script hi azia eng ang document nge a be chanti te ani ne na tang hianin kan thra thei don na ma saberatan kan som don ani ilo somang
ama sain BCM ina documentary film asiam Mingo hnuhnung script ziak turamin thana ba hen kan ho tu te chung alom thu ka soya script ziak don hian eng angjong nge kan ziang tia ril ru a boi veu maya amaro chu tun laya kan mu tam tak documentary kan tiang de chu thalak lui kan nema chu kan soi fi kha tiang deuh khania ma se kha tiang ringot lo deuh hle khan akal dan chidang dewin kal tiu teng ti in kan ho tu te in ron tlangin achang tur khan pa oma an ni thil zirbing na atanga kan mi masa Mizoram Missionary saber chanchin tharon tu te sap upale pu buanga te sul nu kan chui tir ta tu tiang chon script cho kaltani an chanchin hi kan hi soren tam tak te hian an ziak vek lova mi tlem te ina sap upale pu buanga chanchin kil kel hi Mizoram an ron lu ma England an online chanchin zong ne na hetia an kalkong zong ron chui tu hi tam an lova amaro chu chungjinga chonin hei Reverend Dr. P.L. Lianzuala BCM Pastor Penson ani hianin England te Wales te Calcutta te an sul nu khatiang kha chi rang chuya nasat taka abe nuwa ale khabu khorpum zofa te chanchin tha ron hlan tu te ti hemin le khabu hi bu pui bera chon kan in nga na chu anita tin ani hian le khabu ron tam maya amuna akal chila chu tenga ti chu ni wang arin tlak boka tin chu ba ka chon hei pu buanga logbook kan ti thin ka hei hinita heta hianin an che dan rang le khabu ziak kha tam tak kan ring boka chu tenga tanga he script hiron piang chokani wang chuan tu na kan documentary entur apo hi amun ma zong te ang thei ber tura roman le ahun ka liam to lama ani le atha akum te hi adik theyang dor tura heng le khabu tanga lak so hi ani alo dik lo pal a omani point adik zok in ko mu kha shelovin kan in hong reng ani ti khabin shet pui ula Mizoram chanchin tharon thlen na hi thlen masat ber tu te hi tu te nge ni ti kan thu pui chu khateng lam hoi khan ni amara chu a film in enanga atopa chuan tunge ron thlen tu ti khachiang takin in huanga apoi mo ber ero chu zofa te ne na chanchin tharon thlen hi pathian hin adu ema mun danga pen koi tur tam tak an nei kan zo sap te hen ma se pathian hian lusai lena chanchin tharon thlen ti ri adu em awang in helai huna hen Mizoram hen chanchin tha aron thlen ta ni pathian hen lom thui seng kalome
ale angai dom hle mai tin he documentary buat sei tur hian in thurwal pui kan neya BCM hian chu M Space Production te hi an ne he M Space Production nei tu pa ber le a khai pa ber kan ti theyang chu pu mal soma ani ne na tang hian in he documentary buat sei ani chungchanga experience te le tin a sei du zong te po anianga testimony ro pu tak tak te po ani in country a ani hianin kan han som ve le phot don ani
tuna hian lunglei lam chuak kan ni a kan original chu lunglei atanga bultran kan ni M Space Production tuna chuan aizol kan lo base nget deuta ramhlun veng laya kan oma kan chung kwa in tin studio hi nikum atang khan kan han buat sai ve a thalak theina te tin la han zir mai theina jam room kan ti ang chi te chung ang te chu ramhlun veng laya tho hianin kan neya nikum lama tang khan chuan studio kan ti a ti hianin thalaka kan ti om chi angkha chulai hmuna tang chuanin kan ti ani nia keini ina kan tho thin le kan ti ber kha chu hami video wa thalak lampang kha ani a ama chuanin hei film lampanga hian kanin sorbing dewa kemani project kan khoina sa a chu tiang ang chu kan malak na thin ani a maro chu ni kum top lam ani mang chu kanga tang khan pon lam na hi kan khoi ve ta zo zowa tuna phei chuanin pon lam na hi kan khoi tam tama zo ka tiang chuanin thalak nge ni hei film pia lama khanin thalak lam kai hnoi chi hrim kha chu atulang angkha kan chuaka tin team po tlema ma aya lian dewing kanin setup a arwala chuan ngai po ti thei mei tur khan chu tiang chi chu kan na le kan ti ber chu ni mai headquarters lamina he chanchin tha lo thlen tu te en theya han chua tura min ron dor kha chumi a enge ni min ring zowa khami ti tura min ron be hrim kha masabera chuanin alom em kan lo don sandana chuan khatiang ang ti thei tura min han ngai le khatiang ang an ril ru te khami ti tura an ril ru le an ngai tu na te an han soya an thin lung zong han riat phei chuan khami ta na min lo thlang kha enge ni lom em mai khani a kan tan chuan mero chu buai tak kanin dor ma sak ber hi khami hri ina minti buai ma khan kanin dor tran to hei puchuan te a communication lama kan ho tu pa hiron lenga khalai huna khanin tia han ngai tu mai chuan ti mai lo o mai ngai na kha om lo dewa kan hun nei dan nen amero chu ani hi mi do thei tak le enge ni mi biak konga talent nei tha tak khani in ka ria kanin dor chhozela o mai kha harsa tran tira chun soyang deuh khan kan hun le kaima ni na ma chop sang te lo om bok nen chuan ti khan atop lama chuan hun thra kha pathianin aron min ron peta a ti chuan he na thok kho tur khanin ro man na te kan siama BCM office lama te le khazia fel tulang ang te po ti khanin kan han sign ho ta khani a soyang khanin pubuanga le sap upa kan Mizo tana thil hria treng tur le thil hlulutuk chanchin tha min ron thlen tu te chanchin en thei tura siam tura rin le chumi ti tura mo phurna pek kan han ni kha ke ni tan chuan enge ni lom pia lama khanin mo phurna na satak kan kowa in hatani ti kha kan hria a chuwang chuanin thei to pin ti sa le tharau lama po kan lo in buat sei ve tong trai na te po hemi pol hian kan hmang na sa ema tin kan indor lima po anron sei ngal chu hei hi khoila ya mo mun han siam chopa khatianga ti mai lo deuh khan thil khen na dik tak an ron pubuang ale sap upaten Mizoram an ron lu na mun takte tin Mizoram an ron lu ma ti lan ngai Mizoram pon te po ti lan ngai don ti te khan soilok khani a chung ang te chu rilru khanin a resa a tin India ram pon thleng te po kalangai mai thei thu te kha kan han soi khani a chung ang resa chuanin he project hi kan han tita kan han iesta khani a kan be sei lok le kan riat lok ang nge in zep thu cheng lo a hau tak khop maya hun le tha tin allocation po tuna chuanin camera lek phal lo na mun te tin sipai te na an lo ve na silai ne na khatianga an lo din chil na mun te kha kalanga ya chung huna te chuanin a mun nge ti kan du wangin a thei dan in kan ti a changin kan camera te kan thuk ruwa kan phone jok te kan han manga kan phone te po enge ni a chang chuanin han lek chua ngam lo na mun te kha oma tin mun then khat khoi emo motor atanga a glass phe na tanga lak ngai te kha oma amai ro chu kan du thu sama kan lak ma kha chu khang huna te po khanin kan ve kan tlan non chu tiang chuanin mun harsa le mun thalak khir khan tak po kha he documentary he na in zep dona pathian khongai na in chung te chu hei atop lam kha kan lo thlenga thapa ngai takin kan ti theizel ni in ka hria a pathian hruaina wangin lom khopin ka hria a he filma kanin dor tira thil pakhat kan soi ho kan du thu sam tlan headquarters lam hemi communication lampang le hemi sub committee lampoina an du thu sam tin ke ni team lampona kan du thu sam chu he film chang tur hianin pubuang ale sap upa hi sap an ni sia sap ngei hi thei se ti te kha kan soi howa kan du thu sam khani a chuan tuna he a film top lama kan ho tu te malak na in ahar sak khop in ka hria a chang chung kan beidong ruma kan han in eng tin nge ni ang a om ang deuh keima ni Mizo lama hian kan in zong to mai do mi kan ti chang te po oma mai ro chu sap ngei kha an ron langta karil ru lo lan dan tak ka chuan mania ka ngai tu na an sei chua ka chak mai chu ke kan sap te pani mel hi an ang lu tu kani hey trong try na in kan thena kan boi nok ka hun alo rei box sia ke mani trong try na ngei te po kha kan lo thei hil then to ma se pathian hi trong try na chang tu ni kan trong try na hi a hria a ati hlo tling thina ni ti kha heng kan sap te mela hian a langin ka hria a nakina mi pui te pon nin lo munga pubuanga le sap upa khatiang ang kum som ni bor som thum bor chhoan ni lai an mel ni om tak ai ang chuang tur om lo kha pathian in min pe ni in kan hria a lom hle in ka hria a hei hian kan documentary hi ati hluzual viau don in ka hria a chu min ti phur khop bok mai nia hei hun thlasom pakhat borvel shooting kan nei ta kan han in om hoa trula hla taka te kan zina Mizoram pon te kan chuaka tin Mizoram chunga po kil khor tak te tin mun cheng che tak te kan hruta chutianga chuanin keimani tho ho na hrim keimani team lam le headquarters lama hemi boipui tura mo phurna pek khote nen po boruak thatak kan neya tho ho na thatak pathian ompuina na satak kan changtlang ni in ka hria a enge mo hei hetiang ang hun rei han hoa tingai lo han ho te heng anga hianin enge mo thukal lam le holam han in mufu lowa boruak thatalo enge mo te hi thei ni a mai ro chu tiang chu mi lo in hei tiang hian atop kan zial chho don ta ni in ka hria a lom hle in ka hria a chuti rol chuan hei he documentary hi a Mizo pumpui tan hian thil hlu tak tur ni in ka hria a kan hre thina tin thalai tam tak pon pubuang ale sap upachan chin te tin kan missionary lo lu dan te po athu chuang kan hria a kan soifo thina amai ro chu eng angin nge khatiang huna khan eng ang har sat na nge an lo to a eng angin nge he chanchin tharon kenglu tur hian an lo be ti tak hi kan hre thiam phalowa kan ngai tu thiam lo ani tuna chuan chu allema en thei turin tin a hmun ma ngei ti lan ani dona tin an ma ni ngei an hnam pui ngei ten chu chun ron changchuak dona hei hian nasa takin kan thin lunga thil thar aron tu in ra tha chuak ka ringa chu lom om hle in ka hria a tin a hun te tin thil ni na dik tak khatiang ang emi a thon thu ziak tu script ziak tu te poina uluk taka research beya khatiang anga thil thlen na mun te a hun te khatiang a ziak khan ni a hi Mizo nam tan po a thil hlutak tur khani in ka hria a nakina thang thar lo om zel tur pon he documentary hi hlok puinan le thil zir chian nan po an la man du zel kha ka be se ni hlok puina hanti chuanin keima ni keima le ka tho pui te pon ni vek ka ringa sap tlangwal kum som thumbor lekina titak mai chanchin tha pudar tura anron beite tin hei kan documentary hi thil tam tak ze ani rualin ap hemiala langlo an nun tam tak bo kha he helai chunga han tal ta ka chuanin kan han hriat bela an ron tum na le hetiang ang tak mai pathian ta na anin pek na hi aro pui hle inga hria an ma nia thok tu pui tu tir tu omlo se chuan mihring thanem ngai na le mihring atang ringot chuanin thil thei lo topani ti hi chiang hle inga hria a chu aro pui ka ti a he documentary po ina atop zial na na kan man he chanchin tha pudar tur le he chanchin tha midang te hne na hril dar na konga min pui tu ani nge kha ka be se chuanin keima big po mi a chau thar khop maya he documentary kan ti hi chumi konga chuan ka hlok pui view in ka hria
film bua sai tur hianin tel nge ngai pakhat chu music ani he kan documentary music original music min siam sak tur hian ma thana efx studio enkol tu le nei tu hei ramzo tlang ser ko na tu na hian an oma ani a efx studio wa kan han lut lok ani a ti hianin hei achul mam na lo ti le me ka ma thana hianin tin hei chu ma chonin hei te kan han thop po hen khan thriat ve sim matan a tha a point ka hria alo khoi to howi hei tlem azong te chu helai mun hen kanan mute nu ko ki pasal ti te mo kor ti te dengi I love you ti te bang number 9 thiledam ti te ni he documentary mi go ni hnung ti hi kan hria dang khan in darkar ni don ani a darkar ni ate po ti the yang chu music le audio khoi chunga po hi arei khop maya kan han norvia wa ma thana hi tiang chuanin ni danga a tho aya ngor deuh hlekina han ti ya chuti chungpo chuanin thakhat chuang hi hemi atan henin a hun hi a manangai ani tiang chuan nei ani kut chuak hi ani a he kan documentary audio an chulmam le a music zong hi ani chunga bo kan lom viau ani hei tuna kan hmu mek te hi sapu pa le pu buanga changtu te ani hi England atanga san pa ngata hemi ta na ron kalan ni a alian zo khi sapu pa chang ni in Chris Lloyd ani hi puloita marlam missionary tupa ani tina te zo khi pu buanga chang ni in ani hi Robert John Hudson ani a pu buanga chang tur ani a tin hei Mizo ming te po ne anu pui Mizo ani a mai na ron soidona buanga ti a ko thin ani bok Chris Lloyd hi Liverpool atangaron kal ani a chuan Robert John Hudson hi Birmingham atangaron kal ani pani hi sapu pa le pubuanga role play tura athan paron kal ani a tiang chuanin ani hne na tang hianin an experience se le an soiduang zong soina hun kan penga ama sa in Robert John Hudson pubuanga chang tu hi hun kan pe photanga chuan Chris Lloyd sapu pa chang hianin experience te aron sei vele anga an English version kan ngai thanga chumi nu a chonin an tu sei tlang pui hi Mizo tongin kanon dale don ne ilo ngai thang.
Yeah, I suppose being involved with this, how it all began. I think talking a bit about how my connection with the Zolfate community, I kind of met my now wife, who is also Mizo, Hnuhnung. So having met her and then meeting the rest of her family, Reverend Dr. Bihchianna Londo, and just being connected at such a young age. I think at the time that I'd fully come to kind of know the Mizo community was about the age of 16. I'm now 28, so 12 years, and yeah, just realising what a big community it was and the amount of people that are involved, and so then growing up, my first time here in Missouri, 2013, a real kind of special experience, and have been back on several occasions since, for various different reasons. I've been married since 2019, and we've returned as well, and it's just quite interesting to then at that point to be a part of UK Zofate, so to be just like almost like a guest, but to now be married in and to be a part of the Zofate community and be Zosap, I suppose. Just has been real blessing, and then through that of being connected, I think the first time I was given the opportunity to be a part of this was kind of summer of 2023, and it was just, they're looking for someone to play a part in a documentary of British missionaries, and I've known a little bit of kind of the missionaries that have come, and I mean, such a short history. Obviously, doing most of our history in the UK, we learn about kind of our different occupancy of different territories and stuff like that, but not really about kind of how Christianity has kind of spread from especially like the UK. And to see how that's been such a big impact on the community here, and so it came through from my wife, being like there. She got asked by Larry from UK Zofate, and it's from then it's been an interesting kind of trying to make sure schedules work and trying to make sure that I could be a part of this, because the community is such a big part of who I am. Now I can consider myself Mizo, in a very big part of my myself, and desperately try to learn more about the culture and the language. So to be a part of this documentary was a real blessing, to play Bihchianna, one of the frontier missionaries from the Baptist church, and I think just as we've gone along, I think especially speaking to Kapa, Reverend Dr. Bihchianna, he was just mentioning, and I think we've all, as we've kind of talked on about the not necessarily coincidences but God incidences, how God's been working through this. I think at the time that I came into the connected with the Mizo community, a few people who are now family who were like, we've figured out your name, it should be Buang Puya, and they all had a good laugh about it. And I was 16, I had no idea at the time what it is or what it meant, and then to be at this point now where people call me Buanga or Buang Puya, and then to be playing the part of Bihchianna, and to kind of look, I suppose, partially like him in some respects. I don't know whether I have such a big spirit as he did, but just I think the love for the Mizo community, I think we share, and it's just been a real privilege to be a part of such an amazing thing that hopefully will just really help people to understand about the missionaries that first came and about the things they went through. I think I've come to understand kind of filming in the dark and stuff like that, and how pitch black it was, and just thinking about now how we rely on so many modern things, but back then it was too groups of missionaries who were just so inspired by their faith and by God to just, wanting to share the gospel with anyone and everyone they could, and especially those who were unreached, just a real kind of passion for that. And I think I've really come to understand the great things that they went through and how much that means here and continues to mean. So being a part of this to educate and to encourage people for however long it stays relevant, really, but I think for always, that people would just be able to look back and kind of at this and hopefully go, wow, these missionaries went through an awful lot just to give us the gospel, and how much that is such a big privilege to be a part of. I mean, just being a member of the UK and having our missionaries go out into the world and to share the gospel, because that's what we're called to do, to share the gospel with other people. It's just been really great.
So yang kan ani hi Mizo makpa ani ya sakatza sani le som Papua Reverend Dr. Zachana Londo fano parte ne ne ya tin England apo tiang chuanin UK zo fate ya kanin Mizo amangang tenan tin po ma hemi kan documentary siam tur chungchanga an man lak kan tit dan tele kanikum sani le som ni le pathum ni puilai kanin pulari ne tengin kan pui parte kal tengin hemi chungchanga som na te kalau dong tiang chuanin kanin be chau zela hemi sa upa le pu buang ate chanchin hemi Mizoram chanchin thalo thlan tur documentary ka telve the hi kalom le kan pui pa kapa pheichuanin hi pathian remruat ani tepo atia tin ka Mizo min han phuasak buang puya min tia buanga te min ti heng nen tepo hianin pu buang rol ka han play tepo hi alawin me rem le zela tin hei kan landan tepo hi engmoti kongjong tak hianin pu buang ka sugum som ni pasar ni ria chau kha ni ya ke po ni ria che kalo ni tu na hianin kan landan tepo helawin nang chau ve zel me ya heng zong zong ate hianin pathian rem ruat ni te point ke point ka hria atia alom le asoya tiang chuanin tin hemi documentary buat sai na le antel ve awanga thil tam tak azirte tun lai le man lai in thlau zia te khang kan missionary te hemi film tur hinang theyang ber turin zana eng omlawa luidunga te kan han kala eng omlo te po hi ke ni chon tun lai mi chunin kan lo experience to lowa khang tiang kan han te luidunga zana thim thama zum le hriam le ram sakara khati anga shooting kan han neina kariru lo long chu khang missionary te impact na sat zia le an lo tho na sat zia te voini a ke ni te nen chon in an lo zia khang missionary te ro pui zia te kha ke experience na sele in ka ria alem changma ni ila henga tang hianin kan missionary ten an lo tho dana ka engam chen hi ka zir thar le in ka hria tin abi takin Mizoram missionary ma saberte pubuang le sabu pa te na tho lo ro pui zia hi he documentary ka telve tang hianin tam tak ka zir kalom le hetiang anga film ka han chang thei te le pa he ka telve hi kalom le mal som tam tak hi ka dongani atia alom thu te po kha han soi ani kha ole tu na chuan sabu pa chang hi tunge ti kha kan thele chak viu in keringa ani he Chris Lloyd ani Mizo Rama missionary puloi tatupa ani
Well, my dad, my grandfather was the missionary John Mary and Lloyd, so I've always been at least aware of Mizoram and its link to it with the Presbyterian Church that he was part of, and there's always been pictures and hearing about his time there, hearing about my dad grew up here, so I've always been very keen in maintaining the connection. And being part. Well, my grandfather was the missionary John Mary and Lloyd. So from my entire life, I heard about Mizoram and its people and my grandfather's time there and my dad growing up here. So I've always been very keen in sharing that experience and maintaining that link with Mizoram and the Welsh Presbyterian Church and my own family. So I've always been very keen, as I say, of just joining in whenever I'm given the opportunity. And when I heard about this, I was really amazed that they were asking me to be part of it. I assumed everyone else said they were busy. But getting the time off work was a pain in the backside, but it was absolutely worth it because coming here is amazing chance. It's an amazing place with a fantastic people, and being able to play the role of Savage is great because I love history. I love learning about people like Lorraine and Savage and Dee Jones and everybody else and the work they did. And one of the great tragedies, I think, of history is that as people fade into history, they become more abstract. They were people that existed, but they become names on pages. And being able to do a documentary like this makes it more real, being able to see the people as close as they were, and seeing the work that they did, and what their contribution to Mizoram wasn't just bringing the gospel, it was laying the foundations of the education system, codifying the written language, and that's just as important as bringing the gospel to helping shape a modern Mizo identity, I think. The work was hard and it took a lot of strength of character. I mean, my grandfather was in his mid-20s when he came here. He came on 5 days' notice, and I'm 28 now, and I couldn't picture doing that. So these two people just going from Britain to Mizoram to a fairly isolated part of the empire must have been so difficult and taken so much determination just to carry on. Every obstacle they could have just said this is it and turned around, but they kept going. They knew they had a mission to do, and they were determined to see it to the end, and it's incredibly admirable.
Tikanin Chris Kanin a role play chung chang tele til thang thak han soi ani ya soyang khan ke point ka han talan to ang khan ani hi missionary puloi ta tupa ani ya hetiang hi kan ke mani thla tu ka pu te a tiang missionary Mizoram local te an awang te tin history chung chang a te ke ma nasa takin tuina te po ver rim prima hetiang a som na ka han don khanin ka ho phur viau a har sadon ti chu ka hrenga amero chu ke ma phurna le chona lian tak bai te lo omin ti hen ka han tel ve ni ka lo hle me Mizoram a karon kal hitin kan tan chuanin Mizoram hi kan voi khat ron kal na ani lo awang ani a ron kal te po hi kan chak sim sima Mizoram ron kal na hun rem chang te kan han nei pha the ani a Mizo te ne na han chen ho te nan tho nun te anuam ka ti hle me ya tiang chuanin heng film documentary a kan han ti atang hianin na sa takin ke ma zir thar te po kan nei atia tin tun la ya le khabua an chan chin chang inziak amero chu atak taka hetianga chung ang miro pi tak te chan chin an thil ti dan an te en thei a mu theia a om tur hi kalom em chu mi piala ma chuan chutiang ang alo hlot lin theina tur ta na ka tel ve awang po hin kalom tak zet ani atia tiang chuanin harsa hun harsa le thil harsa tam tak te chu he film kan han chan chung changa te po om ma sela a nuam ka tia enge ni chona thar te po min pein ka ria tiang chuanin kapu ina kong alo zo missionary kong alo zo hi alem han chan te poin pu buanga sap upa role nge me ka han play te po hi kalom hle a tiang chuanin hemi awang hianin keima na sa takin thil thar alo thlenga zir tu te po kan ya kalom tak zet ani ati ani
I mean I'd like this to make people more aware of just that these were real people who went through incredible adversity to do what they did. I hope that it can help strengthen the bonds between Mizoram and Britain with the English Baptist and the Welsh Presbyterian churches. I'd like that that we appreciate that everything that needs to be done can often be really, really difficult. And when you face adversity, you have to put faith in yourself, your faith in your friends, and faith in God, and to carry on.
โอเคคริสต์ข้านะหันเสียที่ข้านินเฮด็อกิเมนต์รีเฮียนินนาเราพิทักษ์ทอกเสียที่เฮก็ดูทุสามันนี่อะที่ยะบริเตนอังกฤษรัมอาโกชันเตเลมิโซรัมโกชันเตเฮด็อกิเมนต์รีเฮียนอามาอินปนไนเซล่ะทินทิลปะขัดรอนเสียข้าก็เสียส่วนเราชวนบัพติสต์และเพรสบิเทเรียนเตโปอามาไออันนั้นสะจอกเห็นเฮด็อกิเมนต์รีเฮียนินปนไนเลจูลเซาเซติเตคารันตาลังข้าเฮด็อกิเมนต์รีโปเฮียนินอัดบัวใส่ตัวเตริลรูปนี้อารอนสวยทะเลนกระเรียคลายจุงจางอ่ะพวกขันเฮทนทูอัตตะกากันหันจันเฮียนินคลีตัวเตจงสงะจงนัทาร์เตปอเราเปเลเซติข้ากระดูทุสามันนี่อันนี้
Yeah, just I think looking about the time that we've done this, looking back on all the filming, I think kind of for people who are watching it, I think as Chris has said, I think just kind of the adversity they went through, just the amount of trust that these young men put in God and their faith in God to go on this journey, and I think that's to be said for all the missionaries who have come thereafter, have just kind of put their faith and gone, I'm going to go to spread the gospel and that's really fundamental, I think, in terms of our lives as Christians. I think kind of sometimes there are just things that just only God can make sense of, and if God's calling us to do it, then we go, kind of no questions asked, and sometimes we deal with hard times, we deal with adversity, and Lorraine and Savage definitely just we're constantly facing adversity, trying to reach these people, the Mizo people, the Lushai Hills basically, and just at every turn it just seemed to not happen, and then by God's will and grace they finally were able to connect with the locals and to give them the gospel and to help, and I think just thinking about that, I just want everyone to kind of from this to realise that God, I suppose God loves them so much, and that's for all people, not just for the Zofate community, but for everyone, that that there are people who put their trust in God and go out and do these things just to share the gospel, and therefore kind of once we've received them and once we're part of his family, his kingdom, that we can just we can rejoice in that and continue to share that amongst our friends. But it's kind of the fundamental part is that first we need to accept and that we just need to continue daily to do that, which is, I can only imagine what Lorraine and Savage did every day, was just commit each and every day to God and just be like, whatever happens today, may we just continue to glorify your kingdom. So yeah, I feel like we should be encouraged by that, and just grateful that God sends people into our lives, in this case Lorraine and Savage, and in other cases just friends and family who want to tell us about Jesus and everything. So yeah.
Ni patni na tho hianin na sat takin ke ma po hianin kha zir tu tam tak min pe ka ti tong khan ha tiang ang hi he documentary clear tu te zong sang po hianin kan ril ruin ngai tu thar leila atia kha aron soi tam taka kha isabu pale pu buang ate an beina sat zia Mizo ma luan tuma an lut mai thei chuang lawa kong sang atengin an dapa an lut thelo zela ti khanin atopa an lut ani a tiang chuanin mi hring nu na har satna rong bol na ko nga te pon yang har satna lo thenga mi na be sam chuanin beidong lo a be chuanin tiang khan atopa pathian chan puina dong thine ni ti kha nga te po kha ka zir thar le ani atia hetiang ang an mani ang a beidong mai lo rong bol na ko nga te po Christian na kanni na ko nga beidong mai lawa anni be anga anni nu na tanga zir tur an ni te po hi zir thar le hi thale in ka thia atia anni atang hianin thil na sale ro pui tak mai hi kan zir suaka chu a en tu te po hian en liam mai la vela vai ni a hian he thlir tu te hian an thil ti anga te po hi ti vele tum ta ila an ril ruang te po hi pu vele ta ila in ti pau khau ila malam panin tiang chuanin ka rong bol na ke na sa zo kan lo pen thena tura tan hianin he film hianin he documentary film hianin thlir tu te na sa takin na thok se ti hi ka du thu sa mani aron ti ni tuna chuan Mingo hnuhnung kan thlir lok na a mor bok nan Communication Department Director Reverend Dr. Lazar Liana in ani hi he subcommittee documentary subcommittee a convener ani boka ani ne na tang hian he Mingo hnuhnung buat sei chungchanga hriat tur ko ron hotena kan hriat tur rang om theite kan hre thei dona ani hi kan somanga he hi kan hun top na ne tong
kum sang ni le som pakwa BCM Assembly chuan Mizoram a chanchin tha thendan documentary film siam ni seti in arela ti chuan a bozo itu turatan communication department aruata ti chuan communication department chuan a theitop chuin bulletin na turatan sub committee te adina ti chuan finance department atang pen sum kan ma motur te bulletin nana min han ta chho sak nga la amaro chu van doi thak tak mayen kan hriat ang khan COVID-19 sipui khan min tlak buak ta tlat maya ma kan han la chho do na tu lang kan han be chho do na che chuak hlei thei lovin kan han om ta tlat mai kha ani a tu mangin ma kan la thei lova te chuan kum ni don se ta liam nu kum sang ni le som ni le pania khan bo ruak ten ziam ta ka chuan kan han thar tho le ta a ti chuan a script zet tu atana pu sila len kiba kan AV production assistant kan ruata ten a farm min boy pui tu tur film song song min lap sak tu atana M space kan han bia nin an agreement kan han siama ti chuan subcommittee chuan tlangwalal ma chuan audio visual a kan manager a chu boy pui tu bertura ta na le director tan arwa la la farm te kan han bia a atulang te kan han bia zo chuan sumda masakhanat dai don lo wangin department balance enge mazat kan han deal chuak le ta a te chuan department balance le finance na min pek mang chuan kan han be chota ani ani na taka chuan he documentary film kan ti aming Mingo hnuhnung tia kan vua hi tum hle lowi la chu tin ka soi duwa asukuk don nge in alanga a chan chu kum ni lai mai che thailo kan wang khan sum min han pek te po ti nun thar le thinanga ya la dang tam tak kan lo nei bok nen khanin min te boy ang reng hle maya lo champo kan lawang reng khop mai amaro chu assembly meu ina rel ani laya kan hun lai nge han ti lo tlin kha kan du ve bo wang khan a committee ho te po thanem kan han ngai thar le ta te chuan thei top chuan a zara a chang tu tur te kan han ruata ten chu ba ka chuan a chan na tur mun te an thlir kwala a ha te chon ha em maya Mizoram pon mun la tak tak aruna chala te silchar le chevela te tin Mizoram chunga po mun kil khor tak taka te ram nuaya te changin an kal kwala ti chuan tiang hian release thein kan lo bua sai ta hi alo mom ka ti rual hian nuk te po ul de don rum mai hian ke ma chon ka ria kan sum kan min han pek te ple balance kan han man te po thei to a film khuring kan han bang chawa tle ma zong min dai lo po hey main balance sang ni le som ni le pathum le som ni palia tang hian kan han dil bel le chung te nen chuanin hey kan han zo thei don ta hi alo mom ple in ka ria pathian ne na lom thu ka sei tak me ani he documentary film siam na kong chung chang thua hian lom thu sei da tur department ai o in ka ga hle maya film sub documentary film subcommittee chunga te tin M space kan farm te chunga te tin a sound le khang zong min boy pui tu EFX studio chunga te film changtu zong le audio visual staff te chunga lom thu department ai ok khan ka soi tak meu ani te chuan he documentary film hi Mizoram Christian zong le BCM member zong tan chu mai ba ka thang thar lo zel tur tan po document poimo tak lo ni zel ro se kalome
kum sang kha jariat songko le pali a sap upa le pubuang an lo thleng tiang zia ka ni hi
soi tur nei kan amen
sar kutbul lui chwa thil seng kha kan chai le va kange
chai lo lamani lo sangkha zaria somsari pakhat kuma tui koi khuwa majority is liwina hawat Christmas an man kha intran chan don ani chuan khami tum khanin isua ming hi an soi nge yem ti hi afin fiana min mutir thaingem
con nục con mình ngấu trăng vào thế buồn nên cậy khác anh chỉ bùi thế anh bùi rẻ reng lâu mấy khăn nhé mình ngấu đằng thế ai anh đằng làm na riết vấn này nè
anh mà nên anh thầm nộp bộ hình mà ra ta đừng rồi là nè kha anh nì hi sa bạc vài nì hi
he thili chui chua che pon hin ka shela in nial nan na satak ti chuak thei ni a in rem lo na thlen tu po ni the Bihchianna du zong po hi ani ka ring lo
bu te u lu sai tan thu tam tak in sia mina si te u
Don tu ni lo tak tak chan chin le wa le ko vel chiam tu Jisu chan chin nang ma ni lu sai ho chuan ko anu inti chan chin ka shilang cheu
helai mission compound hi hun thatak chu ni Mizo shim tan poin helai mun hi hlu nia ta chip khwa thangji ga kachar zela tan na po kha kan pielo ga so na omasin
he in nial na top thei lo tur hi thudik kan mu chongai ne
nolai bo da ami to mare guna ni de tumi jaro januaro ham guri noaro dole guri tumi asukki tumi heyoi gun
why are you here
Engwana sela tange ni
Nula ka thata
tui ruang le tlong in fin lai tak chu
helai mun atang hian sabu pa le puwang ate khan chan thei zong an nun na thlaka chan huamin ri sang tak lain nam pani te in kara in do na silai ri are or ti khan dai lo ram phang turin bulan han tran ta khan ya helai borvel hi ni hi sangkha zaria somko pathum fawang lai vela sapu pale pubuang aten ta chip langwal thangji ka tol thawanga silchar zela tang ring tu baptis man chantir ram hun chu
putu silai ne
If we say no, they may come inside and attack us.
and if we say yes sooner or later they'll come to realize that we don't have a gun Silai kanai lo
ngấu silai pu ni lo chu คนเนี่ยโอ้เฮ้ยกำลัง